So to begin with, you have to go to code.visualstudio.com because we're going to use Visual Studio Code. And it's very important, it is this blue one and not a purple one like I have down here. It's not Visual Studio, it is Visual Studio Code. So just go and download that one. And of course we also need to have Roblox Studio installed. So go to create.roblox.com and go and click on the studio down here. Then it will go and download. And then finally, you also have to have a Claude subscription. So go to Claude.ai. And right now it costs like $20 per month. To begin with, this is the best plan. Of course, if you use it a lot on multiple projects at the same time, you might want to go up to the 5 times or 20 times subscription. But for now, you can just go and use the $20 per month. So the next thing you want to do is when you come into Visual Studio Code, you want to go over to this one. It is the extensions. And when you click it, you should go and first of all install Rojo. I think it's called Rojo or Rojo. You just go and click it. And then you go and install it. I have already installed it, so that's why mine say uninstall here. So you can just go and install it. The next thing we want to go and look at is Claude. We also need to install that extension. And it is this one, Claude Code for VS Code. And just go and install this one also. So the next thing you want to do is go into Roblox Studio and just go and create a new experience. Because from in here, we can go and say plugins and then say manage plugins. And as you can see, I already have the Rojo here, but you are going to click on this blue plus icon. And when you do that, the toolbox will pop up over here. And you should just have to search for Rojo in plugins. And then it is this one. So you just click it and go and install. Then you should be able, when it's installed, you should be able to go to plugins here and see it right here. And when you click this Rojo, I have already clicked it, but when I click it again, you can see over here, we can connect to the Rojo server. So now Roblox Studio is actually fully ready to go and connect to the server, but we first of all need to go to Visual Code to actually start up the server before we can connect to it. So go back to VS Code, and inside VS Code, when you have installed Claude, you can go up here at the right corner where it says Claude Code Open and click it, because then we have Claude here. And if you have the subscription, you just need to log in here. It's pretty easy. I think it says something like a login or something with Gmail. I don't know what it says actually. But when you click it, the browser should open and then you just say accept there or authorize. And then you are connected to Claude. So now we can go and close this extension one and also the release notes here. And then go to the Explorer. And we actually want to go and create a new folder for our project. So the easiest way to do it is maybe just go and say open folder. And then let's go to the desktop and just right click in here to create a new folder. Say new and a folder. And let's say gaming project. And then say select folder. And also an important thing when you're inside Visual Studio Code. Sometimes the chat here is opening and maybe if you go and type and it doesn't work or something, it is because you have to go to the Claude Code instead, because this one is actually Copilot and it became very, very expensive. So I would not recommend to use that one. And that's also why we use Claude Code, because it's much more cheaper. But basically what we want to do now is actually just to make a prompt to Claude. And what we want to say is that it should actually just go and set up a new Roblox project for us inside the gaming project folder, and just tell it that we want to go and connect with Rojo so that we have it installed in Visual Code and that we want to connect it to Roblox Studio. So I'll just type it and then we will look at it. So what we are saying here is set up a new Roblox project in the gaming project folder so that we can connect to Roblox Studio with Rojo. And just remember, before you send this, go down to the, maybe it doesn't say auto at you, maybe it says edit automatically or manual or something, but you want to go and set it to auto, because then it will just go and execute everything without you have to give permission to everything that it's going to do. Of course, sometimes you do want to go and use manual or edit automatically or something like that, or planning actually. But in this case, we just used auto, and we just go and say send. And then we'll just go and set it up here. I'll set it up, a new Rojo project, and we will just let it run. So it actually just took like half a minute or something. And now you can see in our Explorer over here, we have all the files now. So to actually start up the Rojo server, you have to go up to the terminal here and say new terminal. And then make sure that you're inside the gaming project folder, like we are now. And you should just be able to say Rojo serve. And now you can see it instantly started the localhost server here. So now we can go back to Roblox Studio, and as you can see, it actually think that there is a project ongoing. So it just say, do you want to connect to this? And we just say connect. If this is not here, you should just be able, because it says localhost and the port number, and they should match the localhost here and the port number we get here, because then you can just say connect over here. And right now it just want to sync the changes from the project, and this is because every file that it sees right now is actually new files. So we can just go and say accept, and that's actually it. So now we're able to go and use Claude to actually go and code our project. So basically what is happening is that we have the folder here in our desktop where we now have all the files, and those files are being booted up in a server that we create on the computer here. So this Rojo serve is just creating a new server that we have locally on our PC that will make sure that this thing is running. So when we do all this, we can just go and say to Visual Studio, to Roblox Studio, that it should connect to the server that is running on our PC. So there is a couple of things you have to understand and make sure that you build it correctly when you start a new project, because adding stuff to your game there is actually two ways to do it, because Claude will of course do it programmatically. So when you say go and add a house in front of me to Claude, then you're actually not able to see it inside the editor mode here, only when you go and play the project. And of course, if you can handle that your game is just looking like this in the editor, but you have it all in your mind and in the code, you could probably go and create a good game like that. But if you really want to go here and go and drag and drop things, you actually need to do it in the editor, and then go and say to Claude that if you have, like, let's go and say a part, let's go and right click in here and say insert a part. Then you have this little box, and over in the Explorer in Roblox Studio, you can go and rename the part. So let's just go and say testing part. And then you could go now and reference this to the to Claude, so that Claude knows what exactly this one is called. So let's try to go back to Claude. So I think this would be a good example. We say in the game, I now have a part called testing part. Go and make the part looks like it is hovering. And then we also say that it should go and add another part that is just floating, just a little bit further away, so you can see the differences. So now it says that it is done, and let's go back to the project here. You can see the project actually changed for like 30 seconds ago. So it's just how it syncs. You can always look at if it is actually connected still in looking at this. But right now you can see there's actually no changes to the project here. But if we go and run it, you can now see that we actually have the two floating parts. And this one, we didn't see that in the editor mode because it's done 100% programmatically. But this one was one we added here. But then the hovering effect is done like programmatically. So yeah, that is a thing you really have to understand about thing being done programmatically by Claude, and then things that we drop in physically. But of course, Claude can go and program so that it does what it should. So the last thing I just want to do is actually to say that it should go and create a little game where you go and collect some coins and make some UI so that we can actually see that we collected the coins. So what I have done now is saying add coins to the world that will appear randomly they should also hover, and then there should be a counter on the screen, like a UI nice looking counter that shows how many coins we have. And let's just go and send it. So now it says that it has created a game. I think it took like 5-6 minutes maybe. So let's go back to Roblox Studio and test it. So you can see it's actually 8 minutes ago that it had some changes. And that's because I just did something else on my PC while waiting. That's also a thing you can do. You don't have to sit here and look what it's doing. You can just do whatever you want on the computer. Also, because this Claude is not actually running on your computer, it's running on the Claude servers. So every AI thing here is not something that takes memory or CPU power from your computer. Of course, it's just a very little bit because it has to get this text. But let's go and check the game. So as you can see, nothing really happened here because everything happened programmatically. So if you go in and play the game, let's try it out. And we can see that there is some coins here that we can go and collect. And there is a little UI up in the corner. So it actually looks like it's done a pretty good job. Of course, you could go and create some sounds to the coins when you collect it. And it can also go, you can go and say that it should change the way that it looks. So if you don't like it glowing, it could just be like a coin. But yeah, if you should go and program this, it would have taken a lot of time to actually just go and program these simple coins and also the UI here, instead of just 5 minutes with Claude. So I do have this other game I just want to go and show you, and it's actually just like a collecting game also. And as you can see, I have a coin up here, so it's a little bit different than what it created before. This one is a little bit more shiny and look like a coin, and when you pick it up, you can hear that it have a sound. So you should not see Claude or the AI as like it should create the whole game, because a lot of these things I put them myself. I also sculptured a little bit here, not very pretty, but it's not AI that created all this, it is myself. But you should see AI as a tool to go and help the programming process, and not so much the visual things that you're going to see. But yeah, I would say that was it for this video. If you have any questions or something that you maybe want to have a look at, that I have a look at and dive into, then go and leave it in the comment, and else just go and have a nice day. Bye.